So I'm back again, another project for my English class. This time though, we had a little bit more freedom with our topic. I got to pick any artifact from the 1940s or before and found out as much as I could about it. I picked some old propaganda posters from World War II, and I'm sure many of you have seen these posters before. Rosie the Riveter was used to inspire women to enter the workforce to replace the men who had gone off to fight in the war. She was always pictured with her hair and makeup done perfectly. Her fingernails were even painted in this poster. Even though she's posing and looking tough, we know that she's still a normal woman. This really helped women back then relate to her and want to go help with the war effort. This really shows how society even then was concerned with women being pretty. Not only were women and children used in posters, but soldiers from all military branches were used in several posters too. Some of them, like this one, were used to convince people to help fund the war by buying war bonds. Most people knew someone fighting in the war, so donating money could, in theory, help keep this person safe, alive, healthy. The government was really clever because they convinced the entire population to help with the war. Even though they promised to pay back everyone with interest, they also got the immediate funding they needed in the 8 bonds they held during the war. This money most definitely contributed to the Allies' win. Soldiers were also used in posters to advertise rationing. Many items were in shortage during the war, such as rubber, sugar, gas, meat, metal, plastic, so they all had to be rationed. The rubber shortage was caused by the Japanese military. They took over the rubber plants in the East Indies, and that's where we usually got most of our rubber from. So we had to ration the rubber that we already had, or attempt to avoid using it altogether. The people fighting in the war definitely needed it more than we did. The food items that we rationed were sent directly to the soldiers. They needed food just as much as we did, and it was a lot harder for them to get it. They couldn't just go to the grocery store. Overall, I'm pretty satisfied with this project. I found out a lot of interesting information about the United States during World War II and how the war was won. And even though I answered all the questions that I had originally, I still think it would be interesting to find out more, especially about why the government did this sort of war advertising back then, and not so much now. I'm sure the soldiers we have fighting now need some support too.